Hello, Dave Hill here. Welcome to the lesson. This is chapter 19. Okay, I know you've been having lots of fun. We've been practicing hard. Things are going good. You're probably starting to feel some chops coming together on your guitar, and that's great. However, I want to make sure you guys are going back and reviewing lessons if you feel like you haven't got something together and there's some piece of knowledge that was given out in a lesson and you feel compelled to keep going on to check out new lessons. That's okay, but make sure you go back and review stuff, because just because I'm showing you different things every lesson, that doesn't necessarily mean that I expect you to learn it all after you just basically go through it once or twice. You got to review a lot. Okay, so we're gonna spend some time working on some major scales this lesson, and just go over just two patterns, just to show you. Even though we've talked about a lot of patterns, we've talked about all 5 of them by now. I want to show you how you can, even just with 2 shapes on your guitar, really practice and kind of break down the patterns and see how well they connect together, or see where the challenges lie in doing that. Okay, so the 2 patterns we're going to talk about are pattern 4 from the C major scale and also pattern 2 from the C major scale. Okay, but I might put one of those 2 patterns in a different key just to kind of make you hear a modulation somewhere. Okay, so we already know this pattern right here, and you've been practicing staying in one position with all patterns after a while, but let's just take a moment here and review this again. Okay, let's do it in one of our new sequences that we learned a few weeks ago, or a few lessons ago, and that was fourths. You remember this one? Okay, we've done that before, but let's just go all the way up to pattern and play this one in fourths now. Okay? 3, 4. Back down. Okay, we're going to do that with the metronome now. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so that's one of the other sequences that I want you to practice, and I want you to keep reviewing that. Okay, we've done thirds and fourths now. You could also do fourths even in this pattern if you'd like. But the point is, you do these every day, and you get skill out of the technical work of practicing sequences. Okay, now let's just say, for example, we're going to use these 2 patterns together. It's pattern 2 and this pattern right here, but we're going to stay in one position and see how well we can gravitate or navigate back and forth between those 2 positions. Okay, and put them in 2 different keys for you, because sometimes you can practice all 5 keys like we've done before in that progression in the back of the board there. We've done that before, but I was thinking about it, and I want you to focus on just playing a couple of patterns for a few lessons here. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to make a little progression up for us that's going to give us a challenge of playing from this position of a major scale to this position of a major scale. But I'm going to put the second position of the major scale in the key of E, just to make you hear a modulation. Okay, so I've got a little groove going here, but I'm gonna record my chords right here in front of you so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't that cool? Right there in front of you, I recorded that. Okay. I'm going to put a little bass line on top of that now. There's my groove right now, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to play on top of that. Okay, here's C major, right? Okay, so I don't know if you were checking out my hands carefully, but all I was doing was staying in one position of my neck right here. I could have played a lot more up and down the neck, okay? But the practice that I'm trying to get you to learn today is to force yourself to just focus on two patterns, but make the two patterns in different keys, okay? The reason I want you to make them in different keys rather than just staying in C here and doing C right here is because I want you to hear when you change key. I want you to really know that there's a modulation happening, so you have to do something, so you just can't hang on one pattern. I want you to react to it and listen to it, okay? So if at home it's too difficult for you to make it that fast, and make that same progression up, okay? But just double the chords up. You could do like this. You could go, oop, not with that sound maybe. You could go, and then do it again. And then you go to the next chord. That way you have 4 measures of each key. Okay, that way it'll be easier to maybe make the key changes happen. Wow. Custom service from Starbucks. Way to go. Thank you. I could use this. This is refreshing. Thank you, Frankenstein. Thank you. Refreshing iced coffee. Okay, let's do this again. And I'm gonna make it interactive with you. I'm gonna play one of the two keys. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna let you play C major. Every time C major comes up in my progression, in fact, I'll even write it on the board for you so you can see what the progression is, just so it's convenient for you. First chord is C major, and I'm actually playing C major 7th, just to be clear here. And that happens for 2 measures. And then it goes to E major 7 for 2 measures. Okay? And every time this happens, you play. Okay? And then every time the key of E comes in, I'm going to play. Okay? So it'll be clear who's going to play where. I'm going to get out of the way so you can see when you're supposed to play. Okay? So I'm going to give you the key of C, and then I'm going to play in the key of E and come back with you. Okay?